The leveling has started. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about episode 4 of solo leveling. The episode starts off with Sung in the same dungeon that he ended the last week's episode on. He starts off fighting a wolf. He manages to win but realizes that a horde of other wolves are coming and that he can't win barehanded. And then he pulls out of his inventory Mr. Kim's sword. The sword Mr. Kim left Sung in the double dungeon when he was about to die, and Sung was left in there all alone. It should be noted that Sung, I guess, just sort of kept the sword from when he passed out in the double dungeon after becoming a player. It was like automatically carried to the inventory. It's not something he consciously put away there. And that sword was mentioned to be purchased by Mr. Kim for about 2 million won, meaning it's a pretty decent sword. In reality, it's just a D rank artifact, but it's by far the best weapon Sung has ever had access to in his lifetime. So with that, he begins killing the monsters and starts to figure out very basic tidbits of information about the system. First and most importantly being level indicators, that any monster whose name is written in white should pose no significant threat to Sung at his current level. A name written in orange is of a similar level to Sung and should be approached and treated with care. And a name written in red is stronger than Sung and should be treated with extreme caution when approaching. Second is we see Sung level up very significantly in the episode. After having had killed a lot of the monsters, the lower level monsters in the dungeon, not the actual boss itself, Sung had already reached level 15. And he entered the dungeon at level 1, so he leveled up a whole lot. And for anyone who's played RPG or role-playing games on a high difficulty, you understand that the starting levels are by far the hardest. And once you reach even some basic intermediate levels, the game begins to become significantly easier, or in this case, Sung's life begins to become increasingly easier. Having it leveled up this much, Sung decides that he needs to fight the dungeon boss quickly, otherwise he's going to get more and more fatigued and his sword is going to break very soon. So he enters the boss dungeon room, noting that whatever's down there seems really, really strong and it's going to be a hell of a fight. And he enters the room with Blue Venom Fanged Kasaka, which is a C-rank boss to be noted, and its name was written in orange for Sung, meaning it should pose a legitimate threat, but if treated with care, Sung should be able to defeat it. It's of a relatively similar level. And boy did he. His weapon almost immediately shattered into the fight, and he had to fight barehanded. And for a moment, Sung basically gave up because he was getting thrashed around and he realized, hey, I probably can't win this. And then he realized that he had been given a gift of a second chance, and that he won't waste this second chance, and just starts pounding the monster into the ground. We see Sung making some more and more progress towards the monster, and probably most importantly, because of the monstrous enemies he met in the double dungeon, a C-rank boss probably didn't scare him as much as it probably should have, because again, he was of a similar rank, which means he would have a pretty tough time beating it, but he wasn't afraid because he had met monsters that were way stronger. Those in the double dungeon were probably S-rank monsters, at least A-rank monsters at the very least. So he felt a lot calmer. He felt like, hey, I've seen a lot worse and I lived, so I have a chance here. And he was calm. And he, waited it out, made moves when he should have, and just started pounding the monster into the ground, and he managed to win. And for beating the monster, Sung gets another 2 or 3 level ups and brings him to a level 17 or 18 or so. And he gets a sword made from the boss's fangs, which is a C-rank dagger, which is an amazing dagger, at least for Sung's current level. And after that, we see Sung leave the dungeon, and it seems there was another dungeon that opened up close by. Sung notes that due to his level ups, he can sense the dungeon boss nearby, and then he goes over to see the boss just to see how the other hunters are what type of progress they're making and that sort of thing. And one-shots the damn thing from a broken sword, basically a hilt, and he used the sword as a frickin' spear and just tossed it into the thing's face. Sung figures, hey, it was probably because the monster was at low HP and I just sort of managed to get the last hit. But no, that wasn't it at all. The monster was at max HP. The hunters there weren't able to do any sort of damage. And that to the monster, at least so far. And that monster was a D rank, which means you get to see how much Sung has come in such a short amount of time. From getting hurt in E rank dungeons every time he entered to basic level goblins and that sort of thing, to one-shotting a D-rank monster within a couple of weeks. This just gives us an idea of how strong Sung is becoming and the monster he's gonna be in just a short amount of time. Well, that about covers it for this episode. There wasn't a lot too much to cover, so hopefully you guys liked it. Please let me know if you liked the video, and feel free to give it a thumbs up if you did. It really does help smaller channels like mine. All right, I'll see you guys on the flip side.